If you could drape yourself a little bit around the chair, I can get a better angle. Those family portraits should be in your direct line of vision. I come from a long line of North Carolinians, UNC professors, of course, who took their surname of Graves a bit too seriously. A picture paints 1,000 words. I suppose that's why I painted them. I love having company. When I was 3, my father died, and my mother opened a boarding house where the Carolina Inn now stands. Oh, there was a household of people all the time. In those days, I didn't say much. I would stare at my shoes, pretending I wasn't memorizing every physical detail I could take in. Then I would get my sketchbook from underneath my mattress and draw late into the night. I went to UNC because, well, it was genetically predetermined, I guess. But I managed to leave after my first year to study art and set up shop in Manhattan. I was an anomaly, a woman artist on her own. Mama wasn't all that concerned about whether I got work, and a lot more whether I got a husband. Well, even a Yankee one, if he had good breeding and a job. Well, it being wartime, there weren't a whole lot of prospects to pick from, but there were a lot of jobs. I got work illustrating World War I war posters and drawing sketches for the likes of the New York Evening Post and the New York Tribune. Mama was so excited. She told everyone Mary's picture was in the Evening Post. Well, I think the whole town bought up all the papers that made their way to North Carolina and went through them from start to finish looking for my photo. Mama nearly fainted when someone thought the girl in the corset ad was me. Oh, well, I suppose rumors of my untraditional New York City lifestyle came from my taking to theater people, as they are keen conversationalists and quite charming. Well, there I met Arthur Rees, playwright, poet, and historian. And in 1919, at the age of 33, an old maid in those days, I got married, and a year later gave birth to my son, Benrud. Well, Arthur's best-known play, entitled The Double Love, a tragedy in 5 acts, was about a man torn between his woman and his literary career. It was in blank verse, and to be honest, I couldn't get through it to see who won. I should have known better. The title of the play alone was a tip-off. Our marriage went south after the first act. So, in 1923, I followed suit by taking Pembroke and moving back to North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I found a charming old barn and made it into my studio and began painting portraits like mad, as art was my steadfast love. I got commissions to paint a number of notable people. Thomas Walker Pickett, Governor of North Carolina, Mrs. Fred Astaire, and Paul Green, the playwright, to name a few. I won a bunch of awards that were very flattering at ceremonies that were very long. I snuck out of one the other week. "Don't stand on ceremony," Mommy used to say. "Take a nap on it and wake me when it's over." The most excitement I've had lately is illustrating the book Alcohol and the Habit-Forming Drugs. And I'll just keep it at that. You look like you need to stretch. If you ever want to take a break, please do so. Well, I must sound like I'm bragging about my career. It's just that some may think I'm not so lucky in love as I never married again. But others who have been married for a while think I'm very lucky. It's the women who think that, by the way. But even before I experienced Arthur's ambivalence towards committing to his marriage versus his career, I had determined that marriage and career are separate and preferred to keep it that way. That's why I was able to do both, and poor Arthur, neither. And now, well, as long as one is discreet and wise to the polarities of the sexes, matters of the heart do not necessitate the formality of legislations. Mama, however, would not stand for that. My friends say, Mary, you're a bohemian and get to do whatever you want. Not quite true, as sometimes what you want is, well, not within your reach, or shouldn't be. But always within my reach is a blank canvas and the tools to fill it. I'm surrounded by friends and family, wonderful clients, and beauty everywhere. Art is the expression of the history of the human race. What else are we going to leave behind to tell future generations what manner of beings we were? And if you can celebrate life with cookies and a good pot of tea, you are truly blessed. Oh dear, I meant to serve some tea. So much for Southern hospitality. Would you care for some? Did you ever hear that the aroma of cinnamon opens a portal to the soul? Good, because I just made it up.